You are tuning in to the Atlanta Realtors Rundown, the official podcast for the Atlanta Realtors. We're here to keep you updated with the latest trends, topics, and keep you in the know of our ever-changing Atlanta market. We hope you enjoy this episode. Welcome back. This is Manny Recinos, one of your hosts for the Atlanta Realtors Rundown. And today I am very excited about our guests because we are going to be talking about an organization, a committee really, that is part of our organization that really has so much heart to it. Let me introduce you to our chair for the Community Service Committee, Miss Amber Bradenburg. Welcome, welcome.
Hey, so excited to be here. Hello, everyone. Manny, thanks for having me and my wonderful vice chair.
Yes, we have our vice chair as well for the Community Service Committee, Miss Jane Lomas. Welcome.
Hey, everybody. Glad to be here and talking about the Care Fund and our committee.
Yes. So we are very excited today because, like I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of things that we pride ourselves on as realtors, right? We're always talking about breaking records and high sales and teams and, top producers and all of that. There's a time where we can make real estate look really glamorous, right? But it's not always that way. There are times where we also put in the work, right? We do the community service. We're engaged in our communities, and now there's a new care fund that just started, and that really is going to be there to help a lot of people, realtors, in times where it isn't as fabulous, right? So let's start real quick with just an introduction to who y'all are. Tell us a little bit about your real estate career and really how you landed here in this Community Service Committee at ARA.
Oh, man. Okay, so that's a long journey, honestly. I kind of have always been involved at ARA since I was licensed. About 5 years ago, I've bounced around like many new agents probably did and forever will do, right? That you don't really know which way is up at first. But for me, I always was involved in community service as a child, church and all that good stuff. And so while, of course, there was a draw to the glitz and glam of real estate, right? And many me showing up to late jobs and not punching the clock on time and making it. But the getting here was just, I don't know, a step at a time.
That makes sense. I mean, we all kind of have that journey beforehand a lot of times of how do we end up in this business. How about you, Jane?
Well, I started my real estate career in Florida, and when I moved to Atlanta, and I served on the board there when I was in Pinellas County, and when I moved to Atlanta, I wanted to get involved and meet more realtors and grow my business. And so I served last year as the chair of the Communications and Public Relations Committee, and this one is like an offshoot of that. I just enjoy being participatory and giving back. It's important to me to contribute to my community.
That's amazing. And that's, what a lot of us do here at the Atlanta Realtors Association is volunteer our time for, the improvement of our industry and for our members as well. Now, Amber, had you done any work with any of the committees beforehand, or is this kind of your first committee that you're heading?
Yeah, no, I bounced around at the board as well, and then realized that I was passionate about being more involved with, people, and especially, people in real estate. You see different price points and you see all those things, right? And so I wanted to kind of help the people that I felt like really, really needed, an extra support. So community service, I've been on the community for a few years now. And so, yeah.
Okay, so you've definitely slowly built to kind of come up the ranks here in this committee. So since you are very familiar with it, tell us, what is the purpose of the Community Service Committee?
Yeah, so great question. The purpose really is to coordinate volunteer opportunities and events to support two charitable initiatives. Ideally, it's around the homeownership and local communities. And so we do this in a biannual kind of 2-year commitment, and it's both, the financial aspect, but also the volunteer component.
That's awesome. We are definitely that link to our communities a lot of the time. I mean, I know, for example, I get calls. They sometimes ask me, I'm gonna get a new car. Do you know who I should call? And I'm like, well, okay, not totally related to real estate, but you become that source, right?
Yep.
That's amazing. So tell me, what are some of the past initiatives, or organizations that you have worked with the Community Service Committee?
Yeah, so we, back in the day, did a lot with Habitat for Humanity, and then with the pandemic happening, kind of shifted gears of not being able to be in person as much, and then there was this overwhelming need for food in the community. And it was really interesting to us because it was a lot of these communities that we regularly work in, and sometimes you see certain houses and certain price points, but you didn't realize, there were people not being represented and kind of the need there that you didn't realize. So Atlanta Food Bank was huge. We did that actually a couple years, and that's when we kind of realized we wanted to do biannual, right? And so we had lots of food drives, in-person stuff that you could do kind of safely, obviously. And then we had tons of donations that we did. And then this past year, we did Covenant House for our financial recipient, and that was really on trend with, or relevant, I should say, in the timing of just the inclusion aspect of, the ARA, just wanting to focus on an organization that previously wouldn't have been maybe brought up because it had a large LGBTQ base of need. And we also worked with Meals on Wheels, which again is, another thing, just because the demographics of, realtors change, and then kind of aging and kind of all that conversation. And so we want to be as inclusive to different organizations that need support, sometimes maybe other than just the traditional ones that you would think of.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Now, as someone who honestly, I knew the committee existed. I didn't know kind of how deep and how much say there was there. I have to ask, how do y'all decide, for example, what organizations get the assistance, and how long, I guess, or is there a term that exists?
Yeah, so honestly, it's open game for anyone, right? Because that's part of the mission, to be inclusive and equal for everyone. And so anyone can nominate anyone or have one that they volunteer at, anything. And then we have the entire committee. We vote on it. We have everyone present, and then we have a bunch of votings, and those get spicy because, of course, everyone's really passionate about their organization, and we really just kind of get deep and take ourselves out of it and think about the biggest picture and how we can have the most impact.
That's awesome. I mean, I love the idea of that because it sounds like there's member engagement kind of on two sides, right? So if you have a suggestion, if you're someone who works with a charity, you're part of the Atlanta Realtors Association, it sounds like we can reach out to the committee and suggest.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
We love that. We encourage member engagement, right,
sure.
Jane?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah, and you can vouch for these passionate.
Yes, I can.
And it sounds, if you want to take it a step further and join the committee, then that's another way of really having a say, because now you get to be on the board that reviews, the different options out there. So that's great.
Third Wednesday of every month. Shameless plug right there.
Third Wednesday of every month. I love it. So yeah, that's a call to action for all of you listening. If you're looking for a committee to join, if you're looking for something to kind of be passionate about, it sounds like this is definitely the way. Now, I love that. Amber, you brought Jane with us because it's all about moving forward, right? It's the vision of now, the changes that are happening now, and what's coming. So I know that right now there is a very, very exciting move that y'all have made happen. Tell me about the journey, Jane, with the ARA Care Fund and what it is.
Well, the Care Fund came about during an exec committee meeting, and they saw a need for helping realtors that have had a financial hard spot, and thought that they could help them financially. So then there was the process that we had to put together, which was kind of long and arduous, but our committee worked together, and we got it passed through executive, and it's funded. And we're very happy to say that we've requested applications and have gotten a recipient for our first Care Fund award.
Woo! Isn't that?
Yeah, it's awesome.
That is amazing. Congratulations. Yeah, it's beautiful to see these projects come to fruition, because I know that sometimes they sit and it takes a while to get them out the out of the original idea. How long did it take to kind of get the Care Fund going?
I think it was 2 years.
Yeah, a little over 2 years.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work, but a lot of good that hopefully will come out of it. And tell me, what are some examples of people who qualify for this? What are kind of some of those parameters?
So honestly, we wanted to keep it as inclusive as possible because the fact that realtors, it's not all glitz and glam. And sometimes we experience things here as well. We wanted a community feel within our own ARA community, right? Not just a community service. So active license, of course. Jane, do you want to throw in some stuff? I feel like I'm...
Financial hardship, I think, was one of them.
Yep.
Emotional needs. I mean, it's
encompassing, right? It's we wanted to keep it vague, but it's just kind of a tragic, sudden life change. So that could be medical, that could be personal, that could be mental. It could be a few different things. And the applications are actually online, and that's going to outline everything. So we encourage them, to do that. And applications are open on a quarterly basis. So if you apply and you aren't selected, keep applying, the next term, because the funds are there, and we'd love to help you and be supportive as much as we can.
Absolutely. This reminds me a lot of when we saw during pandemic a lot of our service industry, right? The food industry,
Wait staff.
hotels, all of that,
Yeah.
where sometimes we have these surprises, right? And we have to look out for each other. So having the Care Fund there to, let's say, take a little bit of a burden off of, someone that just went through a tragic moment or financial hardship, like you mentioned, that's really important. Coming together in those moments really makes a difference and shows us the power of the realtor, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So now, how exactly does a realtor apply for this? Is there a process? Is there a website? Where would we go if I do want to apply for this?
There's a JOT form for that is on our website that people can apply for the Care Fund. And it's just a fill in the blank, and we've, pretty self-explanatory name, describe your hardship, and maybe, I think we've also are asking them if it's financial to provide some documentation to that effect.
Yeah, share a story. Of course, the more information you can share, definitely the better. But we also are, wanting to respect people's kind of privacies and boundaries as well. So it is a quarterly basis. The first one is June through August, and September through November, December through February, and then March through May. So it's just quarterly. Go online. There is it is kind of a first come, first serve. So we encourage early application submission. It says all that on there, but you just go to the ARA website, and there's a link. You'll see the Care Fund.
Perfect.
Under our committee.
Under our committee, sure.
So AtlantaRealtors.com, everybody, that is where you want to go and check out. You can look up the Care Fund there and get all the information that you need. So tell me, are there any future plans? What organizations are we focusing on right now?
I'll let Jane tell, since she's going to be chair next year.
Absolutely.
Good one. So our most recent charity is Backpack Buddies, and it's a service that provides lunches and backpacks for children in schools and after school.
Yeah, and it's across Metro Atlanta. And the really exciting thing about this is it's going to be awesome for everyone at ARA because we are such a diverse membership. We've got members from all different regions of this Metro Atlanta. And so this is an organization that spans all of that. So we're thrilled to not only do one small area, but the entire Metro and surrounding area.
And it's so important that kids get meals during school days and stuff, and when they don't, their attention span's bad.
Yep.
So this is just a really good cause that we found.
Yes, absolutely.
It's done discreetly also. So the kids, people don't know that they are part of Backpack Buddies. So that was really cool, and we thought really important because, at that age.
Yes, those are the
shamed.
things. Yeah, there's shame. There's reasons kids feel excluded, and
Right.
wow, that actually is really amazing to hear. Was that I'm assuming a suggestion that kind of came up from our membership as well?
Exactly.
That's great. That's great. So talking about these amazing organizations, I have to ask because it is such a passion project, right? And I can sense it just hearing y'all talk about it. So tell me, can you share kind of one example either from this committee or work you've done with the Atlanta Realtors where really kind of that you felt that, right? You felt that mission.
For sure. I'd love to do that. Amber kind of suggested that we do a volunteer as a committee. So we had specific days to sign up, and I waited, of course, till the last minute. And when I signed up, I wanted to get in the packing where I was standing in air conditioning and just packing food for people. So I got to deliver. And actually, that turned out to be a blessing because I got to take my boxes that were like beautifully prepared, ready to go. I just drove up, put them in my car. I drove to my locations and gave them to the people. I mean, it was so organized. I mean, the lists, where to go. And they were so appreciative. It really changed my opinion of driving and delivering instead of being in the air conditioning. I mean, it was kind of embarrassing that I was just such a
diva.
Diva, exactly, a diva.
And this is for Meals on Wheels,
for
right?
Meals-
With one of the
yes.
organizations
Correct.
that you can volunteer for. Now,
Yeah.
can any member say volunteer for that, or do you have to be part of the committee, or how does that work?
Anybody can. We actually are designating specific days, and we try to have that broadcast on social media so that all the Atlanta Realtors are going on specific days. But anyone can volunteer anytime, for sure.
Perfect. I know that President Ennis Antoine has walked in a little sweaty out of doing the Meals on Wheels delivery, but he's always smiling when he comes in. I actually ran across him. He came in for one of the orientations, but had done his deliveries beforehand, and I know that's near and dear to his heart as well. So it's amazing to see, not just our members, but our leadership as well, stepping up into those roles and being able to do that. And yes, lesson learned there, Jana. Let's make sure we sign up with enough time for positions we want, but honestly, those other ones are very important too. Being able to drive around, make those deliveries, have that contact, that's pretty amazing. Amber,
I had
do
a
you
guy,
have one?
well, I have a couple stories. So same day I had a guy, want to change his order that he had, and that was funny to me. I was like, sir, I don't know if this is the sloppy Joe or what this is, but they're really fun and they want to engage because they're kind of stuck to their house for different reasons or another, and so it really blesses them and opens up their day to see you. And then I had one guy trying to give me his cats, and so we got to talking about that. And actually they delivered. I'm an animal lover, but also food, which you don't think about, dog food and cat food, which is just so important. So
It can be expensive for people on fixed incomes.
Definitely. I had a lady, she was crying, actually, and this one really touched me the most, is she said had it not been for Meals on Wheels, she doesn't know how she would have eaten, during the pandemic because of just how low, everyone got in her life. And so that was just, it's just, people are not eating, it's deep. So we encourage all of our memberships, the entire membership, and especially newer agents, get involved, meet a fellow agent or tag along, we're always looking for that because it blesses them and it blesses us and it reminds us of what we do in serving our community, really. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know that just personally from sitting here, listening to the info, I definitely want to find a way to get involved,
Yes.
It's a whole different aspect that keeps us driven in this industry, right? There is a lot of burnout. If we're being honest, there's a lot of burnout. There's a lot of people kind of chasing that dollar, and sometimes we have to step back and really, appreciate the things we have, appreciate, kind of the struggles that we may see within our own, industry, or outside in our communities, which we definitely aim to serve.
Absolutely.
That's
Giving
amazing.
back is just really important, I think, for everyone. It's when you're giving of yourself, it's just such a blessing to. You feel it, they feel it. It works out for everybody.
Yeah, well, and we have such a bad reputation. I know when I was first licensed, they compared us to like car salesmen, and I was like, we are so different, So I think the more we do this, not only does it bless us and bless our community, but it shows people who we really are as realtors. We're really so much more than just a commission, and it's our duty to be more than a commission, right?
And you mentioned too the fact that diversity in these projects, in these organizations, is something that you're looking at, and that definitely aligns with what the mission of the Atlanta Realtors Association is, and what we're striving to change. Make sure that we are more inclusive, make sure that we are taking taking into account some of these neighborhoods that, let's say, they're going through some changes. They're starting to bring in a different, homeowner, or starting to bring in a different type of business, and we want to make sure that we're also looking out for those that have been there, that have that need. So it's really great work, everyone. It sounds like we're in really great hands this year with Amber and Jane. I'm sure you will find new projects and new boundaries to jump over.
I hope to.
Yeah. So listen, I would love to see so many of you out there join us, with community service here at ARA. That's something you maybe haven't thought about. If you have any questions, please make sure you reach out. Again, our current chair is Amber Bradenburg. I'm sure you can find her on the socials or reach out, and she'd be more than happy to make time for you. Well, listen, I want to thank you both so much. I wish you the best, and I'll be looking out for y'all for sure.
All right.
Yeah, we'll be looking out for you with these volunteer opportunities.
Eyes on you.
Yeah.
I'll be there. I'm committed. Thank you. Well, listen, everyone, Atlanta Realtors, thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time. Thank you for tuning in to the Atlanta Realtors Rundown. Please subscribe, and for more information on how to get engaged, check us out at atlantarealtors.com. We look forward to having you join us for the next episode.